Well, the Defense Department sent pink slips to over 1,000 troops, most of them Army officers, some of them receiving word while still deployed in Afghanistan. One retired Army captain said the cut down is going to cost us.
For the last 14 years, those conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq have been fought at the junior officer level. Those guys have the biggest knowledge base of counterinsurgency operations, small unit tactics. Letting them walk out the door and losing that intellectual capital and failing to let them pass on lessons learned to upcoming lieutenants and, within the pipeline is just, it's mind-boggling.
But it's just the beginning. Budget cuts are projected to shrink the Army to its smallest size since before the Second World War. How will all of this affect military families? Well, joining us now is Reda Hicks. She was named Army Spouse of the Year by Armed Forces Insurance, and we're grateful to have her this morning. Reda, thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So tell us your response to the fact that the Defense Department is issuing pink slips to soldiers in a combat zone.
Honestly, it was a gut check because you have a situation where we're over a decade into war, and many of these officers and enlisted soldiers have been deployed multiple times. They're in a combat zone now, and what they should be is laser focused on their mission, but instead they're being given this bombshell news. So instead of being laser focused on the mission, they have to be worried, what's going to happen to my family when I get home?
Well, I just can't even imagine the stress, too, for those who are at home, the military spouses, the children who are worried not only about what their husband's doing, but about what they're going to do next as a family.
That's absolutely right. And honestly, that's a huge point of stress because many military families are single income families. When you decide to make the military your life, the whole family sacrifices. Often military spouses are not able to maintain their own career because every 2 to 3 years they're following their service member to a new place. Approximately half of military spouses are in a licensed profession, teachers, nurses, attorneys. And so every time they move, they have to go through that process again. They can't work in the interim, so they have gaps on their resume and they don't look attractive to employers. So maintaining a continuous career while you follow a service member and they serve their country is near impossible. So now you have these families who have, lived the military life, and it's a huge blow that they're now being told there's no place for you, but now they're scrambling to figure out how are we going to care for our family.
And does the Army help at all?
Yes, the Army does help, and there are also private resources that help military families find jobs. And there are resources actually for businesses who want to actively try to hire military spouses to help too through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, In Your Career. There's the Military Spouse Corporate Career Network. There are a lot of resources to help, but that doesn't change the difficulty involved in the process of figuring out what to do next, because now you have a service member scrambling to find a new career when they thought they were going to make the military their life,
right,
and a military spouse also scrambling to find a career so that their families are okay.
To learn that while at an outpost in Afghanistan strikes me as just flat out insulting.
It absolutely is. It's a huge blow. It feels like a betrayal. When you've been serving your country for so long, many of these people who are being let go are 7, 8, sometimes 10 years, multiple deployments. That's a lot of sacrifice, and now they're being told there's no place for you. And let's point out that it's not because we actually need these drastic immediate cuts. Even, top brass is saying these cuts are because of sequestration. Nobody thinks it's a good idea to be letting people go this dramatically, this quickly. It should be fine-tuning, and instead it's a sledgehammer situation because of bad policy.
Especially the war fighters. It's sad to see them, the guys who are actually over there, pay the price for this. Reda Hicks, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.